All right, ladies and gentlemen, General Greene, God bless you here at islandproject.com. Please like and share this emergency critical red alert video. The Maralago Accord has been secretively declared. This is being worked on behind closed doors now by Donald Trump, other global leadership, other world leaders, Elon Musk, etc. I'm about to break down all the dirty, skinny details, what you need to be aware of, how you and your family should prepare. And in addition to that, we're going to get a little bit of a quick workout in towards the end of this video. So it is a weird day today. So please be on guard and steadfast in prayer. Thank God it's not Friday because it's Thursday, March 13th, the Ides of March. And we get a very rare lunar eclipse blood moon later tonight. Where you are in the world. So be vigilant as always. We learn, and obviously it's been prophesied in the Bible, that this is actually a sign of Jesus Christ's imminent return. We see this in the book of Joel, I believe, also Revelation, in addition to many other books in the Bible, which you should be reading. So prayers be with you all. God is great. And thank you so much too for sharing. It's so important that we beat the algorithms. I can't do it without you. And I also want to thank all of you for doing that right now in this minute, liking and sharing and following me on X, because all glory to God, I believe he wants us to increase our subscriber count. We hit a record 77.7K, which is biblical yesterday. And we already rocketed to 78K. We're adding 10,000 new followers on X at AMTV Media, my only official account, every single week. We're going to crush through 100K. So absolutely amazing. Make sure you follow me there. I'm releasing a lot of key information that I can't post here and on other socials because they don't allow you to. Let's talk about what this Maralago Accord is. This is much like a once-in-a-century accord, like we got with the Bretton Woods Agreement. We haven't seen anything like this in the history of the United States, and it's going to have profound ramifications for all of you tuning in. So let me break down the boiling bullet points of what you need to know. One, there's going to be some kind of false event very soon. I believe a cyber event, which I talked about in yesterday's video. And or be blamed on rogue nation states, so the America can blame China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, maybe Ukraine, the usual culprits. We just saw that, of course, with Elon Musk accusing Ukraine for attacking X with a cyber attack just over the last couple of days, which may or may not be legitimate. Again, a lot of the rogue programming, even in the blockchain crypto space, I'm in that industry, actually does come from that region. So at the very least, they might have masked the IP address to make it appear that it came from Ukraine. But that's beside the point. Why are they going to do this? And Donald Trump might not even know who the culprits are, as a lot of the times U.S. presidents are compartmentalized. Let me give you an example of this. Today is actually the anniversary, because the general never forgets, as many of you don't forget, that on March 13, 2020, President Donald Trump, through the Stafford Act, declared a national emergency executive order regarding the topic I'm not allowed to talk about in Free Speech America. That closely followed the lockdowns of almost every state in the United States of America by early April. So it was actually declared today. We're having the 5-year anniversary of that freaking fiasco of lockdowns and financial bailouts and stock market crash and non-essential businesses being closed and the prevention of free speech, freedom of movement, which is speech, preventing of air travel, the pandemonium, the freaking hysterics, which didn't cease until about 3-4 years later, when it was officially removed as an emergency declaration by Joe Biden. And I'm not defending poopy pants, by the way. But again, even in that situation, there's a strong argument that Donald Trump was being fed false information by the deep state. Whether you believe that or not is a separate issue, but I'm just throwing it out there. I've got my own opinion on this, but my point is, there's a strong possibility that Donald Trump was compartmentalized by his advisors and those really in charge above him at the time. And he simply reacted to the events and then declared the executive action. I believe we're likely to get the same event, either that or he's in on it. I'll let you decide that one for yourself. I'm sure you guys have opinions on that. Either that, but I believe they're going to do the same thing again. This is the point I'm trying to make. I believe they're going to do the exact same thing again with a cyber event, an AI, artificial intelligence, alien invasion, which I dubbed event, that's going to hit our stock market, Wall Street, seize it, collapse it, hack it, cause circuit breakers to break, a huge dump, pandemonium in the U.S. stock market, massive collapse, and will be the black swan false event, FLAG, that I've been warning about. Why do they need that? Because they can't establish the Maralago Accord, the new Bretton Woods, the reset of the system, the new Fort Knox backing of Bitcoin, gold reserves, and also US-based stable coins, which they've approved in the United States. Notice every single bank in the United States of America, the too big to fail as the institutions, are now allowed to stake Ethereum and use it as a bridge for stablecoin technology. This also includes cross-border payment remittance systems like XRP. Why are they doing this? Because here's the nitty-gritty. Here's the bombshell, guys. This is why you need to like and share, and I hope you understand how serious this is. And we should pray that they're able to pull this off, actually, because if they can't, there's going to be total collapse, pandemonium in the streets. Literally, that's what's going to happen. So, what is Donald Trump going to do with this Mar-a-Lago Accord? In these breakdowns of very serious private discussions currently taking place, some information has been leaked to the American public. We're starting to kind of see it alluded to in the press, which tells you that it's coming. They need a crisis event. They need a black swan, problem, reaction, solution, Hegelian dialectic, ladies and gentlemen, folks, all you out there, in order to declare the crisis point emergency, where through force, emergency action, and essentially dictatorial powers and controls, just like we saw during the lockdowns or post 9/11 with the Patriot Act, they will be able to implement the new financial system and seize the old one. This is going to have profound repercussions for you and your family and your financial futures. One, cash will be absolutely destroyed. The fiat petrodollar's done and over. They're getting rid of it now. If you're a cash saver, you could lose everything in the banks. I believe Donald Trump will declare capital controls, which he will not be able to do unless one of these tragic, unforeseen event black swans occur. Again, they would never allow him to institute capital controls, flight of money out of the United States, bail-ins, explain why bank runs are happening, for example, and other anomalies without some kind of tragedy like this taking place. Again, they're going to blame rogue outsiders. They're going to blame the usual suspects: China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, or maybe even Ukraine. Durka, right? Just like we saw post 9/11, Iraq, Afghanistan, fake WMDs, all the lies of the past that they've been selling. Just like the alleged, I can't really say their names, but on the tragic day on 9/11 at the Pentagon, wasn't it like their IDs or passports didn't incinerate, so they were conveniently available for the public to witness? Just, it's an absolute joke. But here's what they're doing now. What they're doing is absolutely going to be catastrophic for the old US dollar reserve. Donald Trump is about to force the hand of sovereign governments, we're already seeing this with the tariff war, to force them to refinance countries like China and also allies like Canada that own US sovereign debt, bonds, 30-year bonds, into 100-year plus long-dated instruments at essentially 0% interest rates, so the United States government can refinance its erroneous, tragic debt that they can never pay back. Donald Trump needs to do this by also pressuring interest rates lower, which we've seen him do in recent days, creating all this market volatility, pushing the dollar lower, because Trump believes, along with Elon Musk and his consulting team of advisors, David Sachs, his crypto czar, etc., of blockchain and all that the strength of the dollar is actually causing America problems right now. It's preventing America from balancing its budget. It's creating an inequilibrium. It's unequal, and creating inelastic is the economic term for it, if you've taken economics, demand for dollars. It's creating all these problems with our manufacturing base, America's competitiveness, for example, with exports and imports, which there's a lot of talk of now. So this is what is happening. So let me pull over here because this is very essential and I got to break this down and I really got to concentrate what I reveal to you. This is the key information that you need to know. President Donald Trump has established a new blockchain standard US-based reserve replacing the fiat old US petrodollars. This new system will commence with the following emergency announcement soon. Please share this. 1, a shock buy moving through Congress now confirmed at the White House Crypto Summit in Washington, D.C. just days ago. This is moving through Congress. A shock emergency buy of over 1 million Bitcoin that will be put on the balance sheet of the new reserve system, the new Fort Knox, which will be backed by not just Bitcoin, but also gold. I've told you how they're going to borrow against gold and maybe even sell a portion of gold reserves to buy more Bitcoin to keep it net neutral for taxpayers. There's other methods that they will use as well as collect tax revenue, for example, allowing you to pay in Bitcoin. They will also issue debt instruments, bonds, treasury T-bills and T-bonds, and then invest that money into Bitcoin as another net neutral way for the United States to increase its sovereign wealth fund and its ownership that it's putting in reserves. What this is an entirely new standard of currency. There's 2 components here. One is the new blockchain digital dollar, not a CBDC, because Donald Trump, of course, nixed the CBDC. This is a little bit different, a lot different, in a material way. It's going to be exclusively backed not just by gold, Bitcoin, the new digital Fort Knox gold, which they've already called it that in official White House documentation, but also a US-based blockchain stablecoin. Now, I don't know what the name of that's going to be. It's probably going to be Jesus Christ is King. I just had to say that. I don't know. Just had to say that. It's going to either be called something like US coin, USA coin, Fed coin, or Trump coin, maybe even, whatever they dub it. The stablecoin technology, which will be bridged by Ethereum and they'll use for cross-border payment systems, XRP, most likely, will be used for everyday transactions. You go to the grocery store, you're swiping your card, or they're paying universal basic income through X payments platforms, which Elon Musk has applied for. I always told you he would do that. That'll be the stable coin part of the reserve. The Bitcoin reserve will be its stability fund, just like gold at Fort Knox and other banks and institutions in places like Manhattan and New York City have been used for that purpose for years as well. U.S. government can borrow against it if they want. They've set the Fort Knox gold reserves at 42.2222 ounces at book value, which is being repriced and revalued now at the market rate of gold, which is breaking new all-time highs, which is what they want. Again, all the synthetic derivatives and everything they've been doing to manipulate gold and silver on Wall Street for years to hold the price down, they've lifted now because this is a part of their master plan. Why are they doing this? The only hope that the United States has, and you must pray on this, pray for the country and for Americans specifically. The only hope is that Donald Trump can pull this off and force other countries into a reset, force them into a tariff war, and force them into refinancing short-term debt into 100-year plus bond long-term debt. The reason that he needs to do this, why it's absolutely so critical for him to do this, folks, is because without that being accomplished, the United States will default. All the major technologists, myself included, have been warning about this for years. They're going to pay the piper at some point. If they can't refinance debt and encourage that through tariffs or penalties or export-import wars or whatever other shenanigans or tools Donald Trump has at its disposal or the central bank can manage with its toolkit of monetary and fiscal policy. If they can't do that, we're looking at an outright default. That is the worst outcome scenario that the United States could experience. Would not only collapse our financial markets internationally, seize upon the US dollar, eviscerate all bank accounts, send everything to zero immediately, introduce new competitor reserve currencies overseas among the BRICS nations, which is at war with us. But in addition to that, would actually cause total societal breakdown and Mad Max in our city streets. Seriously, though. So they're not going to do that. The best option for them is the second option. It's the Maralago Accord. And what that is instead of allowing outright default, although they might default on certain areas if they pick them, like Social Security, which Elon Musk calls a Ponzi scheme, or other specific items that aren't needed. They might do that. But the best option for them is to monetize the debt and refinance that. When they do that, a couple key things are going to happen. It's going to cause massive short-term hyperinflation. Those of you that own Bitcoin, early crypto, Bitcoin adopters, and those that own real assets along with us at the Digital Noah's Ark, cash flow producing rental properties, for example, with no bank debt, that's very important. Gold, silver, commodities, which are very scarce, any kind of scarce resources, assets, collectibles, cars like this one, fancy Rolexes I'm wearing, by the way, because I love watches, Panerai, so I always like to share that with you. Very beautiful watch. You can also switch all the bands out, and this is also a Swiss movement as well, something you can give to your kids, holds its value. Average Panerai ranges from, like, for those of you that don't know, about like $13,000 and up, but it's kind of a more sporty, kind of chill, under the radar watch, is why I really like it. But that's beside the point. I just like to share fun stuff with you too, because we're always talking so seriously. But this is what's going to happen. So those of you that own Bitcoin, crypto, Ethereum, XRP, my pick RSR reserve rights token, which by the way, I'm recommending that to you for a reason, because it plays and works in tandem directly with the new reserve reset system. A lot of you don't know that. There's a reason why I keep telling you about it, tell you to buy it. Is because it works directly with the new reserve. RSR is literally reserve rights. I hope you understand that. Invested by Peter Thiel, Sam Altman of ChatGPT, Coinbase Ventures, and Elon Musk, which hasn't been revealed to the public yet, but will be soon. The new system has been declared. This is what I'm telling you. The new declarative emergency action system has been declared. We could very likely have martial law in the streets of America short term. There's going to be capital flight or attempts of it. Donald Trump is going to declare an emergency, I believe, and it'd probably be rightfully so to do it, to prevent capital flows outside of the United States, meaning you're not going to be able to move your money outside of U.S. sovereignty. I also do believe, just like with gold confiscation in 1933, which, by the way, they priced the gold returned to the government at that time at a lower rate, and then repriced it immediately at a new market rate, earning the government a profit. I want you to think about how they did that. And then in 1971, debased the currency under Richard Nixon and went off the gold standard. So it's this significant. This is the new Bretton Woods style event. This is what you need to understand. This is going to have massive, short-term, disruptive qualities in the financial system. It's going to cause short-term panic. The markets will seize, the stock market's going to collapse, and it's down again just like I predicted, 500 points. I told you, as soon as Donald Trump, I predicted this, I've been accurate and correct about it, as other things. All glory to Jesus Christ the King. That as soon as Donald Trump got into the White House, they would dump the entire stock market on him and blame him as a scapegoat. That's what they've done. So this is happening now. This is how serious this is. That's why you need to get your money out of the banks before the bank runs, before potential asset seizures, before confiscation, bail-ins like we saw in Cyprus in, what was it, 2013, 14? It might have been earlier than that, maybe even 2012, if I remember correctly, where they just take money out of your bank accounts. Anyone not in these new reserve assets that I've been telling you to invest in for years is going to be slaughtered by this new regime. The new regime is a blockchain digital standard backed by gold, Bitcoin, and a stable coin reserve soon to be announced by the U.S. government. This hasn't come out publicly yet. This is what I know, and it's what Michael Saylor knows, but he hasn't told you. Hope you understand I'm giving you key critical information to pivot, leverage, and profit here. That's why I designed the Island Project. Real asset-based, decentralized, absolutely sovereign in a private economy that is outside the control of sovereign governments. Diversified, decentralized, earning cash flows. For example, our properties will continue to spit off cash flows no matter what happens to the USD in the short term. People have asked me too, how do you pay distributions, for example, moving forward in the future? Well, we'll be paying, you pay and select how you want to be paid. If you wanted to be paid in fiat currencies, you can. If you want to be paid in a stable coin, you can. If you want to be paid in Bitcoin or XRP or Ethereum, we give you that option. All this we thought about long in advance, and I'm not going into that today in today's video. I'm just pointing out, I've understood for a very long time that this is what they were going to do. Again, if I would have told you 10 years ago, which I did, I told you 15 years ago, that governments would not ban Bitcoin, that it would be embraced as national security reserve. It would be declared at the White House summit a national reserve asset. which Donald Trump just declared. Many of you called me crazy, but I've actually been proven right. And so what I'm telling you now, even though it sounds a little like, really, that's not going to happen. That's out there. I'm telling you it is. A very likely cyber event, engineered inside job, just like the Reichstag fire set on fire by Germany to spur action and war. Can't go into too many details. Is going to be used now in the United States, whether Donald Trump or Elon Musk know about it or not, or they're compartmentalized or not, or they're in on it. That will be used for the aggressive executive action and reset that they are engineering now. And so I want you to understand what the progression is, where we are going, and what happens next. All right, I'm back. Some guy was waving to me, kind of distracting me there for a minute. So that's what's going to happen. The Maralago Accord has been announced. This hasn't been released to the general public yet. It'll be announced under the guise of an emergency executive action by the president. It's already going down now. You need to pray for this country and pray that Donald Trump can pull this off. If he can't, get other countries worldwide to refinance our debt in 100-year long dated bonds. If he is unable to devalue the dollar, as he's attempting to do, unable to get rates lower on the 10-year, which he's been so far successful, if he's unable to properly negotiate the tariff war, to clean up our balance sheet and avoid default, we are entering, honestly, a hellscape. Something that'll be far worse than what the blood moon is warning us about today here on Thursday, the 13th, on a very weird day. So just please pray ceaselessly and go to God on this, and bring out your crosses like I'm wearing right now to protect against these freaking evil spirits and these evil deep state demons that are attempting to hurt and destroy America and have been working against patriots and 76 freedom fighters and liberty fighters like you and I for such a long time. Get ready, share this video. I love you all. Jesus Christ is King. And in addition to that, I'm gonna do a quick hit workout video to keep you guys freaking strong and motivated, because our bodies are freaking temple and we're freaking animals, baby. So check this out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, General Greene here. God bless you. As promised, we're gonna do a series of push-ups, a little bit of a core workout. If you wanna stay healthy, just move every single day, even if it's just a little bit, okay? It's part of our key preps.